What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the first edition of the Bills Chat 2025 halftime show. I am Josh McCarty. The Ravens lead the Bills by a score of 20-13 as chat is filling up. People are not happy tonight as the Bills defense is letting them down and letting them down in a big way. The game started off great, though. Bills sliced and diced through the Ravens offense. Our defense, excuse me, and went down for a Dalton Kincaid touchdown. The half actually ended great too, with the Hill fumble, which was followed up very quickly by a field goal. Then the Bills drove down, got a field goal of their own to be within one score of the Ravens. The way that half went, the way the defense, um, I think the Bills are fortunate. Riley says Joe Brady needs to either remove screens from the playbook or be fired. Look, the thing about a screen pass, Riley, is when it doesn't work, boy, does it look bad. When it does work, it looks fantastic. In both cases that you're talking about, um, the screen may or may not have worked, but both players dropped the ball. So Dalton Kincaid kind of fumbled the ball, and by the time he gathered it, it was gone. And then Keon Coleman. But to me, it comes down to the Bills have a 7-3 lead. They stop the Ravens. They get the ball back. It's 2nd and 1. Run right up the middle with James Cook. Right off the bat, I hate it. I hate a 2nd and 1 run up the middle. That is such a shot play scenario. You have a defense that if you throw the ball deep and it's incomplete, you're set up for 3rd and 1, and you have Josh freaking Allen in the backfield. Just quarterback sneak it and move on with your life. But so many times last year, we saw the Bills in 2nd and 1 just run the ball, move the chains. And in this situation, against the teeth of this Ravens defense, they run right up the middle, becomes 3rd and 2, and then ultimately up the middle again and nothing. Our guy McChronicle in here, smash the likes as you enter. Absolutely. We are back. Football season is here. 233 people in chat right now. Troy Thomas, offensive play calling is a bit sketchy today. Should make some adjustments at half. Well, I didn't like the answer drive either. It felt like, screen after the big Derrick Henry run. At the end of the day, though, 13 points in one half is not terrible. The ultimate thing the Bills have to find a way to do is slow down this Ravens offense, which is why I hated that sequence so much of 2nd and 1, 3rd and 2, 4th and 2 punt. I want to see the Bills be more aggressive in that scenario. Recognize that you're going against Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, and your defense is probably going to have some issues out there. You're starting a day 3 rookie at boundary cornerback and Dorian Strong. Be aggressive on offense, force the issue. McChronicle says Josh Allen has thrown nothing but checkdowns and screens on 3rd down. Hope the OC knows that Josh Allen guy is pretty good. I agree with that. It's probably a big case of taking what the defense is giving him. I would imagine what the Ravens are doing back there with Starks and Hamilton is just playing really deep, forcing him to take the underneath passes and forcing guys to make guys miss. And it just hasn't happened yet. Josh Allen has been a smarter player in recent years, particularly once Joe Brady took over for Ken Dorsey. And, we see him not force the issue as much. There was that incredible 3rd down play to Keon Coleman. There's been some vintage Josh Allen moments in this game. But so far, the Bills are right there in this game. The scary part is for all of us that have been watching this game is the Ravens get the ball in the second half, which begs the question, what can the Bills do to stop this Ravens offense? There's a couple of things that people might be thinking. You could sub in Damar Hamlin for Cole Bishop. I don't know that solves anything. Chris Collinsworth brought that up on the broadcast. He said that Cole Bishop is a liability in run support. Look, Cole Bishop is a pup. He was a rookie last year. He was hurt. He was hurt through camp. They drafted him for a reason. He has ridiculous athletic upside. He's only going to get better if he plays. We know what Damar Hamlin is. He's a baseline, average, decent backup safety. You got to ride this out with Cole Bishop. It's week 1. Let's see what happens. Let him make his mistakes. They're not losing this game because of Cole Bishop, but going to Damar Hamlin is not an answer. It's not about being the best team you can possibly be on September 7th against the Baltimore Ravens, as much as we all thirst for football and want the Bills to win this game. It's about ramping up and being the best team you can be come January when you probably see this team again. See what Orlando has to say here. Defense has been bad, but we can't let the offense off the hook. Horrible play calls until the end when we had to hurry up. Let Josh be Josh, man. I agree, Orlando. Look, and I was actually a bit surprised the Bills forced the issue at the end of the half there. You think about 30 seconds, no timeouts. That's not necessarily a favorable offensive possession, but you have Josh Allen. You never know when he can make an incredible play. And finding Kincaid gave them an opportunity. By the way, Matt Prater off the street last week, and he is 2 for 2 on field goals. That 47-yarder at the end of the half, that's nails. So the Bills need every point he's come up with today, and hopefully he can provide a little more points along the way, and the Bills can find a way to win this game. Um, as far as what we're seeing from the Ravens, look, it's been the Derrick Henry show. He has 9 carries for 123 yards, 13.7 yards per carry. That's Madden numbers. That's college football. You have Alabama playing against East Toenail State numbers. This is the NFL. And look, Luca and I on our last show talked about it's week 1. The Bills revamped their defensive line, but what do we know? Michael Hoyt and Larry Ogunjobi aren't going to be back until week 7 because they're suspended. We knew that. Their other reinforcements they brought in were Joey Bosa, who already made a play tonight. But after that, it's all rookies. TJ Sanders, Dayon Walker, Landon Johnson's inactive tonight. Not a massive surprise for me. But I think when you look at it, this was set up to be a bad spot for the Bills' run defense. If you were expecting the investments the Bills made this offseason to pay off on September 7th, I think you were setting yourself up for disappointment. Now, look, there's a large gap between expecting the Bills' run defense to maybe be leaky and giving up 13 yards a carry. You can't give up 13 yards a carry against anybody. I don't care if it's Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry in the backfield. Speaking of Lamar Jackson, let's talk about the day he's having so far. 8 for 10, 67 yards. Another 4 carries for 38 yards. He's averaging 9.5 yards on the ground and does have a touchdown. Josh Allen on the other side, 12 for 17, 113 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, although both quarterbacks have come somewhat close-ish to throwing interceptions. Josh Allen on the first drive sailed the ball over, I believe, Shakir, and that one probably should have been picked off, but luckily for the Bills, it wasn't. They went on to score on that drive. James Cook did have an injury scare early in the first half, did come back, not doing much on the ground there. Not a massive surprise, though. This is a tough Ravens front to run on. James Cook has 7 carries for 19 yards. As far as receptions go, it's Dalton Kincaid, 3 for 37 and a touchdown. Khalil Shakir has 3 for 35. Dawson Knox, 2 for 20. Everybody's favorite offseason signing, Joshua Palmer, has one catch for 4 yards. So maybe his explosion will come in the second half. We shall see. Interesting that the Bills opted to not play Curtis Samuel in this game. Instead, they went with either Tyrell Shavers or Elijah Moore. Look, Curtis Samuel missed most of the summer, and he doesn't offer a ton on special teams. So I think you can wrap your head around it, although at some point, man, you need to see some return on that investment with Curtis Samuel. I recognize he had a very good postseason for the Bills last year, but he was an absolute zero in the regular season last year. And here we are, week 1, and he is not even wearing a uniform against the Baltimore Ravens. So, that's another story for another day. But for today, we are about to wrap up this halftime show. The Bills trail the Ravens 20-13. Chad is not happy. Some angry comments in there. We're going to go ahead and leave those where they are because it is opening day. It is a happy day. Football is back. Hopefully the Bills can find a way to win this game. They're only down by 7. That certainly isn't the end of the world, but a tough ask here against these Baltimore Ravens. Luca and I will be back tomorrow morning with a Bills-Ravens post-game show. We are going to be up late tonight recording that. So hopefully the Bills give us a win. So we're in a good mood doing that if we're going to be going on short sleep on Monday. But we hope you check that out. And I will talk to you next week for the Bills-Jets halftime show. Go Bills. Enjoy the rest of the game. And I'll talk to you all next week.